People, DG, I'm back again. Now, Unai Emery said we needed a centre half. I'm sure you guys have seen, obviously, that we've been linked with a whole host of centre halves. I haven't done a sort of vid like this in a while where we talk about the transfer rumours, so we might as well. Let's crack off with the first name, and the name that rattled me the most is Gary Cahill. Now, previous years, I would have said Arsenal buying a player of Chelsea, no chance. It's more likely to be the other way around. Still want my money back, Chelsea fans and Chelsea Football Club, for Ashley Cole. And just for giving us Gallas, I think that was one of the worst players I've seen play with my own eyes at Arsenal. And it's nothing to do with his ability, just the way he carried himself. But Gary Cahill, I'm not on it at all. I'm not on it. I can sit here and be non-biased and look at it objectively and look for reasons as to why we might go for him. Homegrown, understands what the club means because he's grown up in England essentially. Experienced, cut price. I'm sure he's got a year left on his deal, and he's, forgive me if I'm wrong, Chelsea fans, and he's barely featured, so there might be a little bit of leeway, cut price sort of move to happen there. He's homegrown, so he can be registered as a homegrown player, and because of his age, he might not necessarily, in terms of quantity in the side, you could say he's blocking someone's path into the first team, but in terms of longevity, you look at Mavropanos, if he does stay here, he's 20, he just turned 21. Callum Chambers is 22, turning 23. These are youngish centre halves with where they're going to need to get into the first team on a regular basis, and they're still trying to get there. So Cahill, like Socrates, isn't necessarily going to stopgap them because he'll probably have 2 years here if he did sign, maybe 3 at best, and they won't. None of them will probably be as a first choice centre half or a member of the first choice centre half pairing. So I'm not on that at all. One player I would be on is Bailly, Eric Bailly. Now, he is a fire. I think he's a good centre-half. I feel once upon a time, in terms of being in form, you could probably have mentioned him, or he at least had a claim to have been one of the most, one of the best centre-halves in the Prem, top 5 centre-halves. I feel it's changed now. Van Dijk's definitely there. I think you still got to give respect to the Spurs lads. All 3 Spurs lads for me. I know Davinson Sanchez is a bit hot and cold. Toby and Jan have been a bit if and that, but I still think you got to respect them. And 5th place probably debatable. I'll give it to my Jamaican man, Wes Morgan. But on a serious note, I think just if he's not in there, just being in a conversation, I think Bailly's still young, and I think at times people forget that because he is United's best defender. Not like anyone's playing good, but he is. By the same logic, he is a fire hazard. He's a very much a front-footed defender. He's very aggressive. He likes the ball play. But by the same logic, you know what you're getting. He's very naive. He'll overrun it. His positioning isn't the best. At times, tackling and fouling in places you don't need to foul. You're never completely... he's prone to moments of madness, essentially. But there's still a player in there. I feel, man, he's not played that much football, especially since he's come to Europe. How much games did he play for Villarreal before he moved to United? Typically, I know United have not been to United under Ferguson, but... you normally join United, Madrid, and typically the big clubs. I know United have fallen off, but you should only really join these teams when you're finished article, sort of, give or take. Obviously, you get what I'm saying with that, people. And I think a lot of people hold Bailly to higher standards because of how good he's been playing. They forget he's extremely... this ain't an excuse for the dumbness he comes on with sometimes. He's inexperienced, and he hasn't played that many games, and he's, 24 max? Let me check that so I'm not selling any lies to you guys. I think there's a player in there, personally, people, and I don't think we'll get him on a cut price move. Yeah, he's 24. He turns 25 in January, so I'd be up for it, man. I'd really be up for it. Obviously, you saw how they were moving in the Champions League against Valencia. Whether it was Jones's fault or Bailly's fault, I'm not sure. If he can be improved defensively, then there's a player in there. Obviously, we've got Spanish speakers within the side. He was at Villarreal. Not too sure of his level of Spanish, but maybe that could help Unai Emery communicating to him, or his centre-halves communicating to him. He's actually contracted until 2020, so he's got 2 years to run. I know I said he's inexperienced, but I want to bring you guys accurate stuff, so I want to actually see how many times he's played. He's only made 9 appearances for Man United this season because of the bust-up with Jose. But typically, he's played more. He's been out of the United side, but he's played more times for United than any other club in Europe. He's played 65 times for Man United. He only managed 47 appearances for Villarreal before he was obviously bought by United. He was at Espanyol. The majority of them came in the B side, in which he made 21 appearances. He only made 5 for the first team. So essentially, he's only played 84 top flight appearances in Europe, in 40 in La Liga, and 84. It's 84 in total. 44 in the Prem, 40 in La Liga. So yeah, he's not that much capped, to be honest, and 32 appearances for his country. So that's in terms of actual top flight career appearances in total, you're not even touching 200. You're barely past. You're barely in the 100 mark essentially. So he's extremely inexperienced. So that is something that is gonna. It doesn't matter if it's the holdings and stuff like that. That will be another theme at Arsenal is inexperience. But for me, I will go for him. I don't feel they're selling to us at all, and it's nothing but paper talk. But if there is an opportunity for United that they want to sell this player, or if he wants to go, then I'm all up for it because he's their best centre half, and Smalling and Jones seem to be rated higher than him by Jose. Their loss can be our gain essentially, but he's still got issues, and the issue would probably be the price tag now. And I'd be up for him. Out of 10, I'd say I'd be happy with a 9 out of that. And then obviously you've got young 23-year-old Fernando Calero. Now, admittedly, people, I've watched Real Valladolid before this season, and I've watched a couple Spanish sides. But in the same way how Hermoso of Espanyol caught my eye, I'm not going to sit here and say I really took in Fernando. I can't really recall him on the ball. You know the ones there you're watching, and I know scouts get as well. It happens to me all the time. Like when I watch, especially the Under-17s World Cup, I see some players pop up from there, and then I look at their research, and I'm seeing that they were playing there, and they didn't catch my eye. This guy didn't necessarily catch my eye. I mean, he never. But and I'm going to need to do my research. But from what I have seen of the clips and stuff, he looks like a decent prospect. Again, he's extremely inexperienced. He's 23 years of age. He's only made 46 appearances. 15 of those coming in La Liga. So he's extremely inexperienced and extremely young. But in terms of January, it's difficult to do business in January because people know you're desperate and you have to overpay. He's allegedly got a release clause of 10 to 15 million. I'm seeing different reports, and he is Spanish. I'm sure Michelin Tats ran the rule over him already, but Unai Emery and his coaching staff, they're obviously watching La Liga and keeping one eye on their homeland. So I trust them. If this is more than paper talk, then I trust them. I'd be up for that just on the basis that allegedly we're trying to save money and things like that. If we can get a decent, competent centre-half for 10 million or something like that and he can grow into that, then it would be cool. I'd be up for that, to be fair with you. So out of all of them, I'd probably take the Valladolid guy purely for Fernando Calero. Let's put respect on the 23-year-old's name. I'd take him first because of the price tag, and if we've really got financial constrictions, it allows us to probably be a bit more creative in other aspects, and specifically in Emery to be more creative. So I'd take him. If it's possible, Eric Bailly, I'd love that, but the price tag, I mean, I don't think we should be looking to spend 40 million on him, because as much as I like him and I believe he's a quality player, if there's 40 million, then you might as well add an extra 10 and just, I don't think you'll buy him, but just try a 50 million bid for Koulibaly or something. Now, Koulibaly's probably looking at 100 million now, or 78 based on what Van Dijk went for, but you don't know until you try your luck in it and things like that. And again, if we're trying to save our money, it wouldn't make sense to splash that on Eric Bailly. But yeah, I'll be up for Calero and Bailly. I'm not trying to have Gary Cahill at this football club. I don't feel this is not 2011 where we're trying to sign him from Bolton for 8 million. Times have changed. Please, we don't need that. So yeah, regardless though, in the summer, Unai has a tough task in the summer because he's going to have to either between now and the summer tell experienced players like Czech and Koscielny that it's over. We're going to need to get rid of a lot of players now. On one hand, I do think we're not a retirement home, we need to get rid of these players, but at the same time, we need to keep them around. So I feel a lot of players are playing for their futures, especially the centre-halves, essentially, young and old. So, Emery is going to have a tough decision to make, both with players that are at this club and young players that have gone on loan elsewhere. Obviously, you've got young Bielik as well, who I think is going to leave permanently in the summer, or he should, because you're playing a lot for Charlton. You want to come back and play under 23 football for Arsenal. Wasn't given a look-in in pre-season by Unai Emery. Not sure if he rates you, but it is what it is. I've got nothing more to say, people. So on that note, please allow me to exit the scene. So, yeah, man. People, deluded. Comment, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. I'm out.